You want to know why people fear the unknown? Because they can't control it, can't predict it, can't stuff it into their little boxes of understanding. And when they can't predict something, when they can't slap their pathetic labels on it, that's when they feel weak. You see them walking around every day, these people who think they've got life all figured out. They think if they can categorize everyone as weak or strong, loser or winner, they can make sense of their own dull existence. But the moment they look at someone and can't read them, the moment those dead, tired eyes give nothing away, oh, that's when you see their hands start shaking. That's when the fear crawls up their spine. They want you predictable. They need you to react, anger when they push, sadness when they pull, fear when they threaten. That's their game. That's their control. But what happens when they push, and nothing happens? When you don't flinch? When you don't beg? When you stand there like a goddamn black hole swallowing all their noise? That's power. Real power. The kind that makes weak men tremble. You want to be feared? Stop being an open book. Stop letting them see what makes you tick. Become something they can't define, can't understand, can't categorize with their little labels. Because monsters don't scare people, no, what terrifies them is uncertainty. That's why they drown in noise. In distractions, in the endless bullshit of everyday life. Silence. Silence means facing what's really inside. It means peeling back all the layers and looking at the raw truth underneath. And most people, they'll do anything to avoid that. They're terrified of their own reflection. But you sit in that silence. You let it wrap around you until it doesn't scare you anymore. And when the world is screaming for attention and you're the only quiet one, that's when they start questioning. That's when they start doubting. That's when you become dangerous. Because a man who doesn't react is a man they can't control. A man who doesn't beg is a man they can't break. A man who lets them see nothing. That's a man they'll fear. And fear, real fear, that's the only language this world truly understands. The rest? The kindness, the fairness, the rules. Those are just chains they use to keep the weak in line. But you're learning to break those chains. You're learning the truth they don't want you to know, that power doesn't come from being understood. It comes from being unknown. Unreadable. Untouchable. So let them wonder. Let them guess. Let them stare into your silence and see only their own fear staring back. That's when you'll know, you're not playing their game anymore. You've become the game. And that changes everything. You see, most people have an equation for life. They think if they follow certain steps, they'll get certain results. Be nice, people like you. Work hard, you succeed. Love someone, they stay. Cute, isn't it? A little fairy tale world where everything is fair, where effort equals reward. But let me tell you something, the world doesn't work that way. You could bleed your soul out for people, and they'll still throw you away the second you stop being useful. You could work your hands to the bone, and someone with half your talent but twice your connections will take what you earned. You could love someone with every inch of your existence, and they'll walk away like you were never even there. The problem isn't that the world is unfair. The problem is that you expect it to be fair. That's your mistake. That's why you're hurt. That's why you're angry. You keep thinking there's a logic to this game, but there isn't. The only rule is there are no rules. And you know what that means. It means you stop waiting for fairness. Stop expecting things to make sense. Stop looking for justice in a place where power is the only language people understand. You don't beg for respect, you command it. You don't ask for a place at the table, you take the whole damn table and set it on fire if you have to. Because the moment you stop playing by their rules, they start playing by yours. You ever notice how people only respect what they fear losing? You show them kindness, they see weakness. You show them mercy, they see opportunity. You let them in, they take everything. But the moment you become untouchable, the moment they don't know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, that's when they start watching their step. That's when they hesitate before saying your name. That's when they start treating you like something not to be messed with. And that's the only way to survive. You think fairness will save you? Justice will protect you? No. The world doesn't reward the good, it rewards the strong. The ones who refuse to be broken. The ones who don't wait for permission. You want something? Take it. You want respect? Demand it. You want power? Seize it. Because no one will ever hand it to you. No one will ever see your suffering and decide you've earned a reward. So stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop believing in fairy tales. The only thing that matters is what you can take, what you can hold, what you can keep. And if that sounds cruel, it's because it is. The world doesn't care about your pain. It doesn't care about your tears. It only cares about what you can do, and what you're willing to do to get it. So ask yourself, are you going to keep playing the victim, or are you going to become the one they fear? The choice is yours. But remember, hesitation is defeat. Mercy is a luxury. And fairness? Fairness is just another lie they tell to keep you in line. Break free. Or break yourself trying. Either way, the game goes on. The only question is, will you win, or will you lose? But here's the thing, they won't fear you just because you say you're strong. No, no, no. People only believe what they see. So what do they see when they look at you? A man in control or a man waiting, waiting for permission, waiting for approval, waiting for someone to notice? If you want them to fear you, you've got to stop waiting. Stop hoping people will see your worth. Stop wishing for a day when they'll understand. That day isn't coming. No one's going to wake up and suddenly give you the respect you deserve. You either take it, or you die waiting for it. You want an example? Look at history. Look at every man who changed the world. You think they were loved? No. They were feared. Not because they were violent, not because they were cruel, but because they weren't readable. They didn't move like the rest. They didn't need validation. They walked alone, and the world had no choice but to follow. Let me tell you something about pain. People think it makes them weak, makes them damaged. But pain is the greatest weapon you will ever own. It sharpens you. It breaks you down and rebuilds you into something stronger. The only question is, do you let it consume you, or do you use it? Most people run from their pain. They bury it under distractions, addictions, meaningless relationships. But you take that pain. You hold it close, and you listen to what it's trying to teach you. Because pain is the only thing in this world that doesn't lie. It doesn't pretend. It tells you the truth about people, the truth about yourself, the truth about how this world really works. So the next time you feel like you're breaking, like the weight is too much, like the world is trying to crush you under its heel, you laugh. You laugh because you know something they don't. You know that every ounce of pain they throw at you, it's making you stronger. And one day, when they look at you and realize they can't break you, can't control you, can't read you, that's the day they start fearing you. And when they fear you, you win. But winning isn't about revenge. It's not about making them suffer. It's about proving, to yourself, to the world, that you don't need their approval, their love, their fairness. You don't need anything from them. Because the moment you stop needing, you start owning. The moment you stop begging, you start commanding. And that's when the game changes. That's when they realize they can't play you anymore. So ask yourself, are you still waiting? Still hoping? Still expecting the world to be fair? Or are you ready to take what's yours? To use your pain, to become something they can't ignore? The choice is yours. But remember, the longer you wait, the longer they win. The moment you stop playing by their rules is the moment they lose. And that's the only victory that matters. Extended version, 1900 characters. You know why people follow the rules. Because they're afraid of what happens when they don't. Not because they believe in them, not because they think it's the right thing to do. No, no, no. They follow because they're scared of what's outside the lines. But here's the trick, those lines. They don't exist. They're made up, a little illusion someone created a long, long time ago to keep the weak in check. To keep the sheep walking in a straight line while the wolves roam free. And you're sitting there, frustrated, angry, looking around at a world that never plays fair, never gives you a break. But tell me, why are you still playing? Why are you still waiting, waiting for permission? Why are you still acting like there are rules to this? They tell you to be good. They tell you to be patient, to be kind, to be understanding. But the second you expect the same from them, they turn their backs. The second you show weakness, they eat you alive. The second you ask for fairness, they laugh in your face. And yet, you still listen. You still believe in their little fairy tales. Still think if you just hold on a little longer, if you just suffer quietly, one day it'll all turn around. But that day is never coming. Because the people who win in this world, they don't wait for the game to be fair. They change the game. They rewrite the rules. They don't sit in the corner hoping someone will finally recognize their worth. No, they become something that demands recognition. And not through words, not through begging, through presence, through action, through becoming something so unpredictable, so untouchable, that the world has no choice but to watch. You ever notice how the strongest men are always the quiet ones? The ones who don't speak unless they have something worth saying. That's not a coincidence. That's not luck. That's power. Because people fear what they don't understand. And when you stop making it easy for them, when you stop letting them in, stop showing them your every move, they panic. Because now they don't know how to handle you. And when people don't know how to handle something, they either worship it, or they fear it. And between the two, which one do you think keeps you safe? Here's the truth they don't want you to know, fear isn't cruelty, it's survival. The moment you stop needing their approval, their validation, their rules, that's the moment you become dangerous. That's the moment they can no longer control you. And control. That's all they've ever wanted. So ask yourself, are you still following their script? Still waiting for your turn in a game that was rigged from the start? Or are you ready to step outside the lines, to become something they can't predict, can't manipulate, can't ignore? The choice is simple, keep playing their game and lose, or rewrite the rules and win. But remember, the world doesn't reward the obedient. It rewards the ones bold enough to take what they want. So what's it going to be? Will you keep waiting at the table like a beggar, or will you flip the table and feast like a king? The power was always yours. The only question is, do you have the courage to use it? Here's your prolonged transcript, 1900 characters, because let me tell you something, kid, kindness won't save you. Love won't save you. Being a good person won't save you. Not in this world. The only thing that saves you is being someone they can't touch, not physically, not emotionally, not mentally. You have to become something beyond their reach, something they look at and say, I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he's feeling, and that scares the hell out of me, and I know what you're thinking, but I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to become cold. I don't want to shut myself off. Ha! That's the lie they've sold you, that if you stop showing your heart to everyone, you'll lose it. But let me ask you something, when you showed them your heart, what did they do with it? Did they protect it? Did they cherish it? Or did they rip it apart, piece by piece, until there was nothing left but regret? The truth is, keeping your heart safe isn't the same as losing it. You don't lose yourself by keeping them out. You lose yourself by letting them in, by handing them a map to all your weaknesses and hoping they'll be kind enough not to use it. And that's a fool's game. Because sooner or later, someone will use it. You ever see a man who's been through hell and come back? You ever look into his eyes? They're different. There's something in them that wasn't there before, an emptiness, a depth, a silence that speaks louder than words ever could. That's not weakness. That's not a broken man. That's a man who's learned. A man who's seen the truth. A man who understands that the only way to survive in a world that feeds on the weak is to stop being weak. So I ask you again, what do they see when they look at you? A man still waiting for life to be fair. A man still hoping for an apology that will never come. A man still trying to prove his worth to people who never deserved him in the first place. Or do they see something else? Do they see someone who no longer needs their approval? Someone who doesn't react, doesn't flinch, doesn't care what they think. Because when they see that, that's when they start fearing you. That's when they hesitate before speaking your name. That's when they know they can't touch you anymore. And when they can't touch you, you win, but winning isn't about revenge. It's not about making them suffer. It's about waking up one morning and realizing their opinions don't matter anymore. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing someone who doesn't need their validation to exist. That's real power. That's real freedom. You think strength comes from how much you can take? No. Strength comes from how little you need. Need less. Expect less. Care less. Not because you're weak, because you're finally strong enough to walk away from their games. The world will try to break you. It will test you. It will push you to your knees and laugh while you struggle to stand. But here's what they don't tell you. Every time you get back up, you become something they can't understand. Something they can't control. Something they can't break, so let them talk. Let them judge. Let them think they know you. The joke's on them, because the man they think they see, that man doesn't exist anymore. And that's your greatest weapon. When they can't predict you, when they can't read you, when they can't find your weaknesses, that's when you've already won. The choice is yours. Keep giving pieces of yourself to people who don't deserve them, or build something they can never touch. One path leads to pain. The other, to power. But make no mistake, you don't get both. Not in this world. Not ever. So go ahead, keep waiting. Keep hoping. Keep playing by their rules. See how far that gets you. But one day you'll wake up and realize you wasted your life waiting for a fairness that never existed. By then, it'll be too late. Or, you can wake up now. You can stop waiting. You can stop hoping. You can stop being a pawn in someone else's game and start making the rules yourself. Because in the end, there are two types of people in this world, the ones who follow, and the ones who are followed. The ones who beg, and the ones who command. The ones who are read like an open book, and the ones who are feared because no one can figure them out. So which one are you? I already know the answer. The real question is, do you? You're still sitting there, thinking, pondering. I can see it in your eyes. You want to believe what I'm saying, but something inside you is still holding on to that last thread of hope that maybe, just maybe, the world isn't as cruel as I say it is. That maybe if you just try a little harder, be a little better, things will change. That's cute. It really is. But let me break something to you. Hope is the most dangerous illusion ever created. They sell it to you like a drug, get you addicted to it, tell you to just keep going, just keep believing, and everything will fall into place. But hope is a trick, a scam, a leash they put around your neck to keep you tame. Because as long as you hope, you stay waiting, waiting for justice, waiting for things to make sense, waiting for people to realize what they did to you. But tell me, how long have you been waiting? How many nights have you stayed up thinking about how unfair it all is? How many times have you convinced yourself, maybe tomorrow will be different, but it never is it? Because the truth is, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is waking up thinking about how to fix what they broke inside you. You think they're losing sleep over you? You think they feel guilty? No. They moved on. They're laughing, living, forgetting. And you're stuck. You're still hoping. But let me ask you, what happens when you take hope away? What's left? Reality. And reality is cold. It doesn't care about fairness. It doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about what you deserve. It only cares about one thing, who owns it. And right now, you're owned. Owned by the past. Owned by memories. Owned by the weight of what they did to you. You're still reacting, still hurting, still proving, still trying to make sense of something that never will. But when you let that go, when you kill the need for fairness, for closure, for anything outside of yourself, that's when you become dangerous. Because when they can't read you, when they don't know what's inside your head, when they look at you and see a man who no longer needs them, that's when the power shifts. That's when you stop being the victim and start being something they fear. But to get there, you have to let everything go, the anger, the regret, the idea that they owe you something. Because they don't. And they never will. And that's your first lesson in taking control. Control, funny word, isn't it? People throw it around like it means something. Control yourself. Control your emotions. Control your life. But the truth is, control isn't about holding on. It's about letting go. Letting go of the need for revenge. Letting go of the idea that things will ever be different. Letting go of the person you used to be, so you can become the person you were meant to be. And most people, they can't do it. They can't let go. Because letting go means admitting the truth. And the truth is that nobody is watching out for you. Nobody is going to fix you. Nobody is going to give you the life you want. You either take it, or you stay here, in this endless loop of waiting, hurting, hoping. So tell me, which one is it? Because here's what they never taught you. Power doesn't come from what you take from others, it comes from what you no longer need from them. The moment you stop needing their approval, their validation, their love, that's when you become unstoppable. That's when you become free. But freedom has a price. And the price is everything you've ever believed in. Every comforting lie you've told yourself. Every excuse you've made for why you're still here, still waiting, still hoping. So what's it going to be? Will you keep clinging to the wreckage of what could have been? Or will you cut the rope and swim for shore? The choice is yours. But remember, the longer you wait, the heavier the chains become. And one day, you'll wake up and realize you've spent your entire life in a cage with an open door. So I'll ask you one last time, how much longer are you going to keep waiting?